Bonjour, my name is Mehka and I'm a third-year honors political science student.
Hi, I'm Uku Feldman. I am a third-year student in the geography major at UBC. I did the global seminar last summer about the French Revolution, myths, the facts, and the history, and it is divided into two portions, 2 weeks of class in Vancouver and then 2 weeks of class in France. We went to Paris to understand how the revolution formed, and then after that week in Paris we went to Lyon where we studied the counter-revolution, and part of that we also went to a town called Vizille, which was the official museum of the French Revolution in France.
It was a very interactive course. We were outside most of the time. The times when we would be in classroom is understanding what we had learned in the museum and the guided tour and putting that into classroom learning. But other than that, it typically was very excursion-based. Evenings would be dedicated to free time, so you could use it however you'd like. Because we were in Paris, we used the most out of our time, so we visited Louvre, we went to Musée d'Orsay, we did the Seine boat cruise, so there's so much to do in Paris, so you have a lot of free time. Standing and seeing Marie Antoinette's portrait inside Versailles was pretty remarkable because we did so much learning for 2 weeks on the significance of Marie Antoinette and the various perspectives involved as well. So just being able to stand there and see that portrait in person in Paris, it was quite remarkable.
When you're like a tourist walking through a city, you often don't realize how much history can be in a certain place that you're in, because it might just be now a bunch of kind of nice restaurants and pretty streets. But when you get to walk through town and you get to understand how this area was significant at this moment in time, it really makes the space feel like there's like more depth to it and there's more cultural understanding to it that you can sort of pick up on. So for example, like when we were walking through the old town in Lyon, there's lots of important churches and cathedrals and certain moments during the revolution that took place there, or certain figures who lived there or gave speeches there. When you get to learn that history, it makes exploring the city feel a little more meaningful.
We did work with real 18th century material. Some of these materials included letters, documents, diaries, and it was quite a breath of fresh air, in my opinion, to look at something that was archival compared to what we typically use.
And we would also watch lots of different films, and they all showed different perspectives on the revolution. Some of them were favorable towards the king, some were not favorable towards the king and the monarchy. I often think of the revolution as being this sort of universally spread idea, and you kind of quickly realize that that is not the case. There's a lot of mixing of ideology amongst different classes.
The CIEF program at the Université Lumière Lyon complemented my experience in the global seminar, because while the global seminar was very literature focused, the French language, culture, and summer school was a lot more grammatical and communication focused. There were 3 components to the program. The first one was grammar, the second one was history, and the third one was comic books.
Living in a French environment and speaking French all the time was fantastic. My French became so much better. I was just able to speak freely in French without having to put too much thought into it. And so I really felt like I was becoming like conversationally fluent, and I could operate with ease in French. And the rate of progress is also remarkable. Like within my first week I was much better, within the second week I was much better, and it continued like that the whole time.
But living with my host family was probably the best experience of my life. I lived with one woman, and for the 5 weeks I was staying with her, we had dinner together 4 times a week, and she would cook the meal and we would sit down, and it was such a beautiful setup, and for every meal we would talk for maybe 2-3 hours just about, you know, our different lives, our experiences, our preferences, just a wide range of subjects. And that to me was just, it was crazy, because you're sitting in a random person's house, you're talking to a random person, but it was such a, like looking back on it, I'm so happy I did it, and I would 1000% do it again.
You get to feel like a local living through the city, using the same public transportation that people are using, getting stuck in the same, you know, traffic jams as everyone else. And it is quite nice to immerse yourself in a city by being with an actual local family. And they were also very, very nice to me.
Definitely take the leap of faith and apply. It was honestly the best 6 weeks of my life. I made so many memories, so many friends who still attend UBC. And overall, I really learned so much, not just about the French Revolution, but about myself. I'm very grateful for this experience, and I hope that you consider doing it too, because I know it's happening this upcoming year as well.